Hello BookTube, hello friends, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and in this video I've got a book haul to share with you. Now I mentioned in my last book haul video, which I believe was a cozy mystery book haul, that since things have started opening back up here in Florida, that I have been doing some book shopping. My daughter Katie and I went to quite a bit of thrift stores over the last couple of weeks prior to our trip. We went to Tampa, we went to Orlando, we went to St. Petersburg, just every direction that we could go to find a good amount of thrift stores because she wanted to look for some fun t-shirts and things like that for our trip. And I, of course, wanted to look at books. Wherever we are, I want to look at used books. And so I've already shown you the video of the cozy mysteries that I bought on all of those excursions. And so in this video, I'd like to show you the middle grade books that I have bought recently. Now, since that time, we went on a trip with the church youth to North Carolina, and I did some book shopping on that trip. I found several thrift stores and used bookstores to and from, and so I will have a separate vacation book haul to show you. In that video, I will not be showing you any middle grade books. So this video will catch me up with the middle grade books that I have not shown you up to this point. In that vacation book haul, there's going to be some Christian fiction, some nonfiction, and just some random things that I found on my travels. But for this video, I have several middle grade books. Some of them are Newbery related. Some of them are just part of series that I found and wanted to grab. There are a couple of them that are older Sunshine State books and just things that caught. So let's start with the Newbery books. A couple of these I showed in the last Newbery video that I did, which was the Newbery winners from the 80s. I just found a copy of A Gathering of Days, a New England Girl's Journal from 1830 to 1832. And this is one of the winners from the 1980s. I believe it's the winner from 1980. So I did not have it. I just read it recently, and I showed that already in that Newbery video that I did the other day. I also showed this one, even though this is a Newbery Honor Book from 1990. It was published in 89, and it's a Gary Paulson book. It was one of the few that I didn't already have, and so when I ran across it on a thrift store shelf, I decided to pick it up. Then back before everything shut down, I was at a library where I picked up a handful of middle grade books, and this Newbery Honor Book is one of them. I think I showed this in my Newbery winners of the 90s. This is an honor book from the 90s, Lily's Crossing by Patricia Riley Giff. I have not read this one. It is set around World War II times, early 1940s, and it looks really good. So then the last Newbery winner I want to show you, I picked up, I think, at a Goodwill right after things started opening back up. And this is such a good copy, in great condition for the age that it is. Now, I don't think this is as old as the book is. This is a Newbery winner from 1928. It was published in 1927. This is, of course, a newer edition, and I have not read it. It's Gay Neck, The Story of a Pigeon. I'm not going to attempt the author's name, but I will type it below, and I will yeah, I'll type it in the screen here so that you can see it. I don't want to mess that up. So I don't know anything about this. It's got some interesting illustrations, sort of black and white. I don't know what the term is for this kind of illustrations, but I'm sure it has a name. There's some full page ones, and I'm trying to find. Here we go, like that. But for the most part, it's just text. Anyway, it's from the 1920s. I have only read a couple of the Newbery winners from the 1920s, and I have not read this one, so I'm excited about that. And then at another thrift store, I found some Borrowers books. Now, I've seen the Borrowers movie, and I have the first book, but I have not read it, and now I'm going to need to get this edition because I found these at a thrift store. It was kind of fun because I ended up finding two of them. Well, let me just show them to you first. I think I have them in the right order. This is number 2, The Borrowers Afield. And then number 3, The Borrowers Afloat. And number 4, The Borrower's Aloft. I didn't realize that there are several in the series. I want to say there's maybe 7 or more books in the series. So I have a mass market paperback copy of the first book, which is just called The Borrowers, and I have not read it. I want to. I really enjoyed the movie. I've seen it more than once. And I saw a couple of these on the shelf, and at this particular thrift store, some of the books were in shelves, and then they had some children's books that were kind of in a flat bin where you could flip through them. So I had already been through this bin, and then I was looking on the wall, and I saw 2 of these, and it was books 3 and 4. And I thought, oh, I wonder if there's any more. And knowing I already had the first one, I thought, well, I wonder if I could find the second one. And so I scanned the shelves, I looked all over, and I couldn't find the second one anywhere. And I thought, I wonder if maybe that second one is over in the flat bins. You know, I'd already looked, but I looked at the spine, and I thought, okay, here's what the spine looks like. And I went over just to the first section, and instead of looking this way, I looked sideways, and I spotted it. I spotted the spine that looked like the other 2 spines, and I found it. I was like, okay, well, it's meant to be. I have to get all 3 of these books. So I was excited about that. Anyway, long story short, long story long, as I tend to do. So then I have 2 Laura Ingalls Wilder related books. I found one of the books in the Caroline years. I think this is number 3, Little Clearing in the Woods by Maria D. Wilkes. This Caroline series has 7 books, I believe, and 2 different authors. And I was excited to find this one because this is one of the ones that my library does not have anymore. I think they probably used to, but it's been weeded out over the years, or it came up missing or whatever. So I'm glad to find this one, and at some point I want to get all of those extra series read that have to do with Laura Ingalls Wilder and her mother and grandmother and so forth. Then I found this book that is also related to Laura Ingalls Wilder. I have the first one of these by T.L. Tedrow. The series is called The Days of Laura Ingalls Wilder. This is book 2, Children of Promise. I already had book 1, and these are published by Guideposts, and someone commented about this series whenever I showed the first one back when I was showing my Laura Ingalls Wilder collection back in February when I hosted the Laura Ingalls Wilder readathon, or the Little House readathon. Someone commented about them that the author took a lot of artistic license with this series, and, you know, there's not a lot of facts, but it's just embellished. So, you know, I get that. And thank you. If you were watching this video and you were the one that commented that, thank you. I appreciate it. But it won't diminish my enjoyment of it. I want to read anything and everything that has to do with Laura Ingalls Wilder, whether it's embellished or not. So I was excited that I found the second book in the series. And then a few other books, also back before everything shut down, the very last library that I went to where I was shopping for books, I already showed you one of the others that I picked up, one of the Newbery Honor books. At that same time, they were doing fill a bag for $1. So I picked up a couple of other books that are also middle grade books. This is by Anne Rinaldi, Mine Eyes Have Seen the Glory. She writes a lot of historical fiction, and they're like based on actual historical events that are, I think a lot of her books are middle grade. She may have adult ones too. I have not read any of hers, but the one I have of hers that I most want to read is called The Coffin Quilt. I was showing it in a book haul, and my sister commented about it. She looked it up, and it's written about the Hatfields and McCoys. So this one I'm not sure, and without my glasses I can't really see. Oh, this one has to do with Native Americans. The romance between Shawnee Chief Tecumseh and a young frontier girl. So that's interesting. Maybe that, I don't know if that takes place in Oklahoma or not. Anyway, that's awesome. Then here's a book I've read, but I couldn't resist picking it up. I never see these. I own the first one on audio because it was sent to me by the publisher, and I've read the other 2. I think there's only 3 main novels, and then there's a couple of picture books. Anyway, this is the Nocturnal series. This is book 3, The Ominous Eye. And these books are just super cute. Very, very cute. They are about 3 little nocturnal animals. I can't even remember now. I think one is a fox and one is, oh dear, I don't even know. Anyway, they're 3 nocturnal animals and they're so cute. So I got that one. And then more recently then at thrift stores, I found a copy of Science Fair by Dave Barry and Ridley Pearson. I've listened to this on audio a couple of times. I love this book. It's so funny. There's some odes to Star Wars, and it's just very nerdy, and it's hilarious. I love it so much, and I did not have a copy. Then I also picked up a like-new copy of the very first Rick Riordan Presents books, the first one of the Rick Riordan Presents books. There are several of these. I own one that Katie got me for Christmas that's from a different author. But this one is the one by Roshani Chokshi, and I hope I'm saying that right. Sorry if I'm not. It's Arusha and the End of Time, and I don't know anything about it. I just remember when this first came out, you know, so many people were like, oh, there's a new Rick Riordan book. And then they're like, oh, it's not a Rick Riordan book. He's just presenting it. But anyway, I've heard good things about it, and I found this beautiful copy, so I picked it up. I was about to upload this video and realized that I had accidentally left out 2 of the books that were supposed to be in this haul. So I'm going to slide this little clip in right here before I sign off. This one on the left is Turn Left at the Cow by Lisa Bullard. Both of these books are former Sunshine State books. I don't even remember much about Turn Left at the Cow, but it definitely goes down in my book as a fantastic title. So I saw it at a thrift store somewhere when Katie and I were out and about and had to go ahead and pick it up. And then the other one is Frog Kisser by Garth Nix. This is the only Garth Nix book that I've ever read. This is kind of a fractured version of the Frog Prince, and it's really, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And so both of these are great additions to my shelf. And the last book for this haul is an American Girl book. I got Meet Julie, which is the first book in the Julie series. Julie is the American Girl from the 1970s, and I have been interested in reading her stories because Julie is the book that I think I will most relate to. I was a girl in the 1970s, and so Julie is the American Girl that is most close to my age. And I am excited that I found this first book. Even if it hadn't been the first one, I think I would have still picked it up if it had been any book in the Julie series. So I will be on the lookout for other books in the Julie series, and I'm looking forward to reading this. So that is everything for this haul. Let me know if you are interested in reading any of the books that you've seen in this video. If you have any of them that you haven't read, maybe we can read them together one of these days. I probably won't pick up any of these in the very near future just because I have already been reading a lot of middle grade books in May and June. May was middle grade May, and then I carried over into June and tried to finish up a lot of series. So in order not to get burnt out on middle grade, I will probably take a little break at least for the rest of this month and in August, with the exception of a couple of my lists. Like I'm trying to read a Newbery winner each month. I'm also reading the series of unfortunate events, one of those each month, and that kind of thing. But hopefully by this time next year, I will have read at least a few of these, and we'll see how it goes. But let's chat about any of these books that you would like to chat about in the comments below. And that's all for this video. I hope you are having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.